Baltimore Ravens made a move we saw coming on the horizon after Harbaugh forgot to use a timeout and effectively lost the game in their first playoff appearance since 2014. Harbaugh's ability as a head coach had been questioned over recent years, but until now the Ravens had remained steadfast in their commitment to him, despite a string of incredibly surprising roster moves masterminded by both Harbaugh and Ozzie Newsome, who announced his retirement at the conclusion of the season, with insiders reporting that had he not retired, he too would have been fired. Who will replace the longtime Ravens coach is still a mystery at this point, but early favourites include Todd Bowles and Hugh Jackson, author of an 0-16 season with the Browns. Harbaugh was relieved of his duties relatively late, so big-time coaches such as Sean Payton had already found new homes around the league, leaving the Ravens with fewer options. One thing is for certain, the Ravens are done accepting mediocrity. With both the offensive and defensive rookies of the year and spectacular playmaker Rashad Peters on the roster, the team is running out of excuses after hitting the reboot button 3 seasons ago. Well, that's just gonna change everything. So here we go, let's just get straight into it. John Harbaugh is no longer the coach of this team. Todd Bowles is instead. Now, of course, the big thing about Todd Bowles, think about what he's been able to achieve with the Jets. Think about it, he failed to tank a season. That is exactly what we need here. We purposely tanked a season and we did it quite successfully, but then we did it for a few too many seasons afterwards. And it was about time that John Harbaugh was fired. It's time that we changed things here. But not only were we able to secure Todd Bowles as our head coach, we were able to persuade Hugh Jackson to join us as our offensive coordinator. Now this staff is seriously upgraded. But of course, you've seen absolutely nothing of the offseason. Now, what do you need to know? You need to know that we were able to somehow persuade the Giants to take Chad Kelly and our 27th overall pick in return for the 4th overall pick, which allowed us to go ahead and get Gabriel Turner. He's a guy with superstar development. He's not bad whatsoever. A free safety that we're going to be playing, a strong safety with that 92 hit power. He'll do well there. 81 zone coverage. What we're going to do is put Kewan Hardwick down at the cornerback position, I believe. We may put Gabriel Turner at the cornerback position. We're going to put one of our extra safeties. He's going to be our nickel safety, so we're pretty sorted there. We're obviously holding on to this 3-4 scheme with Todd Bowles. It was considered with Hugh Jackson. He maybe would have become the head coach, but that defensive scheme we just didn't want to take on. We wanted to keep this 3-4. We like it like this. Now let's take a look at who else we picked up in the draft. Basically, the way we played this draft with just our normal picks was take the best player available. So, you know, we were able to pick up a couple of cornerbacks who were disappointing and don't have a high enough overall and coverage stats, but have better speed than we were able to find last time. But we also were able to pick up Gibbs, who's not that fast, but he does have good stats everywhere else. He's got good route running, catching, things like that. And it's actually what I kind of wanted in the slot position. Forget the speed. We've got that at the number 2 and number 4 position. I want a guy who can just do everything right here in this slot position, and that's what TJ Gibbs out of East Carolina hopefully will be for us. We weren't able to pick up anybody on the line, really. You know, Levy, we were able to pick up 1 point, but no one really good enough. And now we have 3 tight ends, and as well as our rookie tight end. Let's take a look in the depth chart. We can take a look at some of these other positions a little bit better. We did pick up undrafted free agent Nate Palmer to play fullback for us out of USC. We already looked at the wide receivers. Nothing else has changed there. We've got this Javonte Douglas guy as well. Don't know where he came from, but he's, you know, not really worth talking about. But tight ends. So we've got 83, 78, 79. We've also got Trey Cottrell, who came in with a 78 rating. We may actually keep him over maybe Kimron, but DeMarcus Parker we can probably trade away because we want Kurt Weeks to be our number 1 guy with that superstar development. And then the question here is who will play our nickel for us? Will it be Kewan Hardwick as a 75 rated guy, or Gilbert Turner with a 74 rating? The speed's not as good. We may put Kewan Hardwick down there. It'd be nice to have him. Of course, Rashad Peters would absolutely be the best choice there, but he just wouldn't play enough. So yeah, we have plenty of options here. We could also have Cowan, the rookie out of Baylor. He's got 92 speed, but his coverage, 78 is probably not good enough because at least Both of these guys ahead of him, Kalen Borum and Edins, have high man coverage, 88 and 85. But then I don't know why Lakeith Spain, I don't know why I haven't thought more of him. Now looking at him, the 92 speed, 81 man coverage, 80 zone coverage. This could be the guy to play nickel for us, but of course then we're left with too many safeties. Is that a problem? No, not really. Do we like Keon Hardwick? Yes. Will we give Gilbert Turner a chance? Absolutely. He's got superstar development, and of course that's great. Can we play with more than 2 safeties? Not really on a regular basis. So how would we do that? Probably think about game situations, things like that. Where could we bring in Hardwick where he would play better than Gilbert Turner? Things like that. But for what it's worth, Gilbert Turner really is better. What we're going to do is we're going to start with Turner. We're going to put him up here. No, we're going to put him all the way up at number 3. We're going to put Spain, whatever his first name is, Lakeith Spain out of Ohio State at number 4. And we're going to have Cowan at number 5. That's our fast guys now. We don't want Borum and Adams. They're too slow. We're going to take a look at Lakeith Spain here at the number 4 spot. He'll get some chances to show off. The coverage is really good for him, actually. I assume, well, awareness puts it down a little bit, but I'm not sure why he's not better, because those are good numbers. Gilbert Turner will be playing here. It'll be interesting to see him. He does have good enough speed, and everything else about him is fantastic in terms of his stats. So the safeties will actually stay as they were before, Rashad Peters, and we will have to change again. The safeties here to Keon Hardwick taking over at that one, because Keon Hardwick just doesn't really have the right stats to play cornerback. So that's how we're going to have it here. It's going to be a little bit tinkering around, but that is for Todd Bowles to decide what he wants to do there with his defense. Hugh Jackson, of course, will have free reign of the offense. We're using his, he's got some interesting plays, some interesting schemes, and we've got athletes all over the field, and it's about time we start taking advantage of those guys. Here we are. This is it. You saw pretty much what happened. Nothing really missed. It wasn't a great draft. There weren't many players that went to other teams in other places. So it's really just time now to get this team right. And it's Todd Bowles' responsibility, and I absolutely believe in his ability, combined with Hugh Jackson, he can mentor quarterbacks when he's got a half-decent team and a half-decent quarterback. And I'm very interested to see what he can get done here. It was the only option. It was the only option to fire John Harbaugh, to have a big change to this series, a big change to this franchise, to see what else can happen. Now, I don't know in terms of upload schedule. I'm going to try and keep it to 2 a week, but I think maybe I'll have to step back to 1. Life. But it doesn't matter. We're here. We're with a great coaching staff. Philip Van Diact is going to be, given every single opportunity to succeed. This season will be his season. If he cannot do it, he is not good enough. But I do believe he is good enough. He just didn't have the best coach. Think about poor Joe Flacco, who was here before. That guy had the physical tools, just also never really made it to the elite level. Philip Van Diact, we've given him a chance, young enough here with some good coaches that will give him that chance.